This video is going to be about the cQ-DATR SuperTrend indicator. It's the indicator up here. This is the histogram version of it. The idea is if price crosses above the upper band, then it draws a blue line. If it crosses below the lower band, it turns it orange. And if it's in between, it will be gray. So this is probably mainly a confirmation indicator, but has volume capabilities. And in place of the ATR, it uses the DATR, which allows for a little faster response. This here will control that. Like if you set that to 1, for example, you can see how it hugs price a little more. The DATR multiplier needs to be higher in general. The indicator is made up of, obviously, the DATR, which is this section up here. This is the mode you can choose between open and close mode, high, low. This is the input smooth, of which it will smooth the distance between the open and close. It will run that through a moving average set at 5. If the close was greater than the open, then it would put whatever this smooth value was, it would put that into the up buffer, vice versa for the down. And I'll show you what this actually does in a little bit. And this is the period for the DATR and ATR. This is the mode. You can change the mode of both of them. This is the candle distance period, which this is an ATR value, and price has to be greater than whatever this value is to be put in either the up or down buffer. Candle height limits the height of the candle. If it was set to 10, for example, and 2, the candle height is limited to, or at 10, period ATR value times 2. That's what that does. Now I'll leave it off. The SuperTrend, you can run it in ATR as you would a normal SuperTrend, or you can use the DATR. The DATR is faster. The DATR requires a higher multiplier in general. And then there's the band modes, which there's 3. Each of the band modes has its own period and multiplier. So there's one for the DATR, one for the ATR, and one for the moving average. And that's what will draw these bands. You can change the mode of the bands. And then you can also swap the channels, which the band swap only works on the DATR and the moving average. Here we'll show the DATR mode. And we'll turn the swap off and see. You can just play around with it, find a setting that works. If you're trying to remove stuff like this, the sideways, you're going to definitely need to make it a higher value. And you can see how this generates entry locations, possible entry locations. You have to use a volume indicator or some other confirmation indicator, but you can see what it does when it's going sideways. This line will be gray. If I swap these, you'll see it's going to swap the upper band with the lower band. So it's a little different. You get more, you can see how it hugs it right here on the down, and then on the uptrend, it will hug it here. And then the ATR mode will just, it's pretty simple. You can, if you use a higher value period, maybe like 100, looks like that. And then the moving average bands mode, there's a couple things that you need to know, and I doubt if you'll be able to figure it out. In bands mode, these moving averages are, for example, the upper band is a moving average of the high. This lower band down here is a moving average of the low. So if you were to say example, change this to 20, you can see what it does. You get settings like that. But when you reverse it, because again, it's flipping the upper band with the lower band. So the upper band now consists of the moving average of the low. So you can see how it's just right here, it's limited to the SuperTrend line. So what I added, that's why I added this bands multiplier. I find 1.3 is good, but you can make it higher or lower. And what it's doing is it's adding an ATR value, 5-period ATR multiplied by 1.3 to the lower band, which is this upper band here. And it's doing the same thing, vice versa, to the upper band, but it's down here. I hope that makes sense. But if you look what it does, it removes more of the sideways action. You get more gray. Okay, I wanted to show you what the input smooth does. We'll leave this like this. You can see what the difference is. And I would say we'll use a value of 10. This is again smoothing the input, the DATR input. So there'll be more of a consistent value as opposed to the value of the open minus the close for each individual candle. It would be averaged across however many candles you have this set to. Kind of smooths things out a little bit. And then if you notice right here, see how the line that's hitting the SuperTrend line? With this minimum level, right now it's set to 0, I think the default is 0. If you set it to 0.5, that's half an ATR period, or half an ATR value. It will then, see how it moved it up? That's by 1/2 of an ATR. So that's what that does. This is the code for the indicator. And for the most part, I think that's it. So give it a try.